Good afternoon, Big Brother fans. It is Thursday, August 13th. It is in the afternoon. As a matter of fact, it's 1:40 p.m. Big Brother time in the afternoon, and I am driving to Chicago to watch the live eviction show at the bar that Ashley works at, or worked at. I don't know which, but in theory, she'll be there tonight. That first evictee, remember her? So that's what I am up to. I have been keeping my eye, when I could, on what's going on. And I'm not kidding you, within the past 10 or 15 minutes, Dee has now decided, with Devin's apparent support, to probably flip the vote and vote out Chuck if it's Chuck versus Ashley. Or just like Ashley. I just said Ashley. If it's Chuck versus Haley. If it's Chuck versus Haley, as of right this moment, Chuck may end up going home, which is not what I would have told you half an hour ago. So, I don't know, folks. It's kind of craziness. I think it goes to show you how confident Dee feels in the house, because I think Devin's is like, whatever, and I think Dee is just like, no, let's do it. Let's have some fun. I'm going to say this. I like Dee. I knew Dee was going to be really, really good. So I'm not mad at her for this. I'm more mad at production for setting this kind of a thing up, because she's just having a good time. She may go down as one of the best Big Brother players of all time, but I'm going to say this, and I would say this to her face, but I probably won't. That she had so many advantages going into the house. This first time HOH where they didn't have, it was just her, Angela, and Devins. The power that Devins got, the power that she got, it's just thing after thing of like, oh, come on. And the fact that icons, alumni, whatever you want to call it, they get advantages just by being who they are. They have the experience. So, whatever. Dee's having fun. She's having a blast. She's tearing it up. And if you've listened to me at all, you know that's kind of what I said she was going to do, or I thought she would do, or she is capable of doing. She is take no prisoners. She doesn't have a worry in the world at hurting people in the game itself. She's not a mean person outside the game. I'm 100% sure of that. But when it comes to the game, man, she's cutthroat. And I have said the word cutthroat a lot of times lately talking about Dee. So, the fact that she's now flipping things, as far as I'm concerned, and I didn't read it, but I'm sure that this is it. Just, I should just do that. Let's just flip the house. Let's just flip the vote. It's fun. It makes for good TV, right? And what does Big Brother want? They want big TV. CBS wants good TV. They want drama. They want flips and unexpected things to happen. And I don't know who this is going to be a shocker to if it happens. And again, it has to be Chuck versus Haley. So Barrett would have to win the battle, the blockbuster. Damn it, I said it again. Sorry. The blockbuster. That's the only way this happens. If Barrett wins the blockbuster and it's Haley versus Chuck. Otherwise, whoever is up against Barrett will go home. Okay, so that all being said, just again, latest developments. Otherwise, the house, not a whole lot. I mean, there's been a little bit that's gone on in the last 24 hours. Some leaking of information or some whispering got around that Dee apparently told Mallory that, and this could have happened. I don't know if it made the feeds or not, but Dee apparently told Mallory that Drew had said he was willing to put up Dee. Right? I think that's the gist of it. And Dee actually told Drew that she told Mallory that. That's the real kind of weird part. I mean, she is playing a somewhat reckless game, but Dee is, but she's getting away with it. And she is so shielded at this point by various things that she can do this kind of half crazy stuff that could have ended other people's games or ended other people's trust in their games. But they know that Dee has a power. They're sure of it, even though she hasn't told anybody, right? They know that Devins has a power. They don't know what the powers are, but they know they have them. And so that is a big, huge insurance package that at the very least, it makes them want to put them up in some ways so that they have to use their power or whatever it is. But bear in mind, the people don't necessarily, I don't want to be the one to put Devon's up if I know that Devon's going to use a power and stay in the house, because then Devon's going to come after me, right? So you have to figure out how to get someone else to do the dirty work to get the power exposed, revealed, flushed, as the term goes. So that's going on. And finally, the last thing that I'm probably going to talk about, other than I'll ramble at the end, you know I always do, a video that I posted, well, two things. See, there we go. We'll talk about the show last night, and we'll talk about this, a Devon's video I made. We'll talk about those two things, but the first thing I wanted to get to was a video I posted last night of Camu in the gym, and I will give you the setup for this. The setup for this was Camu and Yash were working out in the gym. Devon's comes in, and he's just kind of like, "What up, boys?" or "What's the good, what's the good?" And they're like, "Oh," and this is about the time, if you saw anywhere online, they got together and they called themselves the Bermuda Triangle, just to be silly, and like an alliance called the Bermuda Triangle, and they made a triangle shape between the three of them. They're kind of laughing and joking and having a good time, and it's kind of a bit of a locker room boys bros at mood, and they're doing all this, and then in comes Melody, and Melody jumps on the elliptical, I think, or the whatever it was. It might have been a bike, but she's on the, no, they don't have a bike, they have elliptical. So she's on the elliptical, and I don't know why I wasn't paying close attention even when I got the clip, but Camu starts talking to the cameras, and he's like, and just to set this up, Yash had already said something like this at least a week or two ago, and bragged about saying this. So Camu's saying, "Hey, ladies, if you're interested in Camu or in Yash, be sure to hit up his Instagram." And he gave out his Instagram and said, and with a baby icon to let him know that, and I don't want to quote here because I don't know exactly how it was said, but the implication was, if you would like to have Yash's baby, hit him up. Now, I would assume that they're kind of, we're joking, we just mean if they're interested, doesn't think we're attractive and might want it, but they were talking about fatherhood. That's what it was. The three guys were talking about fatherhood, and Devon's was giving his, talks about being a father, and Camu was saying how, yeah, he can't wait to be a father and all this kind of stuff, and that's what kind of led to this, how to become a father, obviously. So he throws out Yash's Instagram, and Yash is like, "Yep, hit me up," kind of a thing. And then he goes, "And here's my Instagram," and he throws his Instagram out there. And then he looks at the other single person in the room, and he goes, "Hey, and you, we're not going to," I don't know if he said, "We're not going to let you out of this," or "We're not going to," he said, "Let's get you, we're going to get you pregnant, like it or not." That is what Yash said to Melody. And that is almost a verbatim quote. I have posted the clip. Don't take my word for it. Go watch it. He said, "We're going to get you pregnant, like it or not." Now that, if any of you are going, "Oh, he was just joking and that's not too bad," okay. You go to this side of the room. For the rest of the people that are horrified, okay, I don't need to say anymore. And if anybody's in the middle, understand, the exact thing he said was, "We're going to get you pregnant, like it or not." He didn't say, "Do you want us to give out your information? Do you want anybody to message you?" He just said, "We're going to do it, like it or not." I get that he was kind of joking, but the words matter. You can't say that kind of stuff. You just can't do that. Ever. Don't ever joke about that. Even if you think it's safe to joke about that, don't even joke about it. It implies so many things. A male saying that to a woman. Yes, it could have gone the other way too. I get it. But come on. Let's be realistic here. It's just wrong. It's just inappropriate. It's tone deaf. It's Camu's inability to not be able to read the room. So I posted that clip because, as it turned out, I think I found it because of the quotes. I saw a couple people quote it, and I'm like, "What? When did this happen?" I said, "I got to see this for myself because I want to see for myself exactly how it happened." And because some people only posted, "We're going to get you pregnant whether you like it or not," they read it as Camu was talking about him and Yash and Melody. Well, they weren't. He was talking about people out there on the internet. But still, that doesn't make it any better. It doesn't lessen it. And I say it like that because there are people out there who says, this is nothing. What are you talking about? They're just joking. Not that big a deal. Oh, it's not as bad as I thought. That's what a couple people said. It's not as bad as I thought. It's like, oh, okay. So it's less bad. Oh, my Lord. My Lord, my Lord. Oh, my goodness. All right. So I posted it on Blue Sky, and I decided, you know what? I've posted a couple of videos and stuff on Twitter, just a couple of bits and pieces, and I thought this clip, I went to Twitter to see, is it on Twitter? It wasn't on Twitter. Nobody had posted the clip on Twitter. Remember, we don't have flashback anymore, so things disappear, right? Well, they don't always disappear. So I went and I posted it on Twitter, and it's getting some traction on Twitter. And Twitter is still bigger than Blue Sky. I realize this. I know this. And there are lots of people that are not on Twitter or on Blue Sky that are on Twitter. And that's what I went there to know. It was like, look, I posted this on Blue Sky earlier, but I'm putting it here too. And somebody just messaged me and said that Jason, a.k.a. Selena, retweeted it sometime earlier today. I don't know. And I know that Blue Kim quote tweeted it a little bit ago. I just saw that myself. So former house guests are starting to share it and talk about it. And I'm not, it's like, oh, good, I'm getting attention. Well, in some ways, yes. In other ways, I'm glad I did it because lots of people hadn't seen it, and it's worth talking about. Now, nothing's going to happen to Kamu. Understand that. Nothing's going to happen to Kamu. But, you know, in the long term, people will remember, and I totally, as I said, it's tone deaf, it's inappropriate, and so it needs to be out there for the record. And if a house guest that I was crazy about and liked said something stupid and dumb and inappropriate, I would share that as well. Okay, let's be clear. I'm an equal opportunity exposer, offender, I don't know. The other things that I've seen commented on that real quick were, one of them is, or a couple of them are, first of all, Melody's response was she actually gave her Instagram, which she could have just said, yeah, I'm not really interested in that. And she did say, no, I'm not interested, but she did give her Instagram. It's kind of like, it's a double-edged sword. You again, if you push back against the person, are they going to say, oh, well, she snubbed her nose at me, she thumbed her nose at me, and so I'm not going to vote for her? And, you know, I mean, those are the kind of things that can happen, right? So that happened, and I'm giving her she's playing for $750,000. She knows, you know, she knows what she knows, and she did what she did. So she got that. The other person in the room, though, well, Yash was in on it, right? The other person is Devins. Now, Devins really didn't say anything, and on the one hand, I get it. Again, $750,000 is on the line. He could do. I was talking with my wife about this, actually. It's like, well, Devins could have played it one of several ways. I think if I was in the room and paying attention, I probably would have said, hey, yo, Kamu, I don't think you meant that the way it sounds like you meant it. You're just kind of teasing, right? Just something to kind of lighten the moment and take the edge off and course correct Kamu. Unless Devins decided, oh my gosh, what a dumbass, I'm just going to let him go down in flames. But the problem is you're sitting in the room with him, so that reflects on you to some extent too. So he didn't say anything. The other angle could be he's going, I'm not saying something now, but later I'm going to talk to Melody and go like, that was really, you know, awful what he said. And he gains some points with her for talking to her outside of it and not making the situation awkward or anything. So there's a couple of things he could have done. I think I personally would have gone at the angle of calling him out carefully, jokingly, just some kind of way to reaching over and grabbing the steering wheel and gently nudging it back on the road versus, you know, taking him to task and saying you can't say things like that, that's horrible, you know, and reading him the riot act. That leads to, you know, unless you know that person's going home that week, you're setting yourself up to make an enemy. Okay, so that happened. TV show. Last night. Last night's episode, was, of course, was the episode where they show the power veto competition. They also showed the fight that Angela had with Haley. And to clear things up as best we can, Angela never said to Haley, it doesn't seem like Angela ever said to Haley, trust your gut about that specific vote thing. Haley just said she was saying it all the time. They showed a portion of a balcony talk, which was the one that I watched several times. The feeds were down during some of it, so I thought maybe we missed something. But they never showed Angela saying to Haley, trust your gut, when Haley was expressing her doubt of Dee's vote. So yes, Haley made it up, and it set Angela off. Here's the other thing. They didn't show Angela. Once Latrice came into that gym and took Angela out, we didn't see Angela the rest of the show. No diary room entries, no dialogue. She was in the back room where the background for the power veto competition. We just never saw her. So I thought that was interesting. So yeah, that happened. And then lastly, because I am going to wrap this up, my video clip that I made of Saturday's events, which if you haven't seen it, please go watch it. It's on Blue Sky, it's on Twitter, it's on Blue Sky, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitter, and not Twitch, TikTok. Got to get my T's down. It's on all of those places under my account. It's just a video of Devon's in a floaty. It starts out with him getting in a floaty, and it also includes the day's events, showing the fight, showing some of the arguing. But it's cute because it's interspersed, right? It shows the floaty, then it shows a fight, then it shows Devon on the floaty, then it shows a fight, then it goes back and forth. It's kind of funny. I thought for sure that CBS was going to do that in the middle of the show Wednesday night. I thought for sure at some point they're going to cut away because Devon had nothing to do with any of that stuff that day. He was not there. Now he was talking to like Haley after the fight. And he was around. He wasn't on the floaty all day, but he was on a lot. People were just like, where's Devon's? I guess he's still on the floaty. We were saying that in the chats while this was going on. So I made that video and posted it Sunday, I think, or late Saturday. I think it was Sunday. And it was cute. It was fun. And today, Devon's wife, I guess, finally saw it. Maybe she saw it before, but she commented on it on the post on Twitter and said, this was the edit I was hoping to see tonight, or last night. Like CBS missed the ball. This was the edit I was hoping to see. So that was that's a little feather in my cap. Happy to see somebody recognize it and stuff. So yeah, that was cool. So that's what's up. Maybe by now Dee has decided that it's not worth the risk of any confusion and to change the vote to Chuck over Haley. Most people would rather see Chuck go because they think Haley's more interesting. But at some point, you have to start getting rid of the people that are harder to get rid of. And Haley is probably harder to get rid of than Chuck, at least in most of our minds. So that's what's up. Gonna go now. Have a good night, good day. I may possibly do another podcast on my way home from the live show, from the live watch party in Chicago to tell you how it went. We'll see how I feel. But other than that, have a good Thursday, and we'll either talk to you later tonight or sometime tomorrow. Be well, everybody. Bye-bye. And thank you for your support. See ya.